Episode 3.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Just knock it over.
Party foul.
That's a $90 mic, dude. Come on. You know, after you said last episode that you just like to groove to this,
Oh, yes.
I put it on my phone and I was just jamming out to music while I was working. Came up, I was just like,
This be a good run track.
ugh.
I wonder who wrote that masterpiece.
I don't know. But I did put batteries. Bruce provided two AAA batteries into the thermostat, and it's still hot in here. Are you guys warm?
It is a little warm.
It's warm. I don't know.
I feel fine.
Oh,
How's it going, guys?
it's going good. It's been a long week. It's been a short week in terms of work. Were you guys off Monday?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why. When you don't work Monday, the rest of the week just like crawls by to the point where I'm just like, end it now. It's horrendous for me anyway. I don't know about you guys.
Well, I'm training staff, so we did trainings all week
Yeah.
and things like that. Try to prepare them for kids. We get kids coming Monday.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So it should be fun times.
Got to keep them masks on them.
Yes. Well, I'm trying to keep my mask on. I sweat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because, like the last episode, we figured out that the nose controls the body heat.
It does. It does. Definitely. At least mine. For sure.
So I'm going to develop and market blankets just for your nose that people can sleep with. He's going to make millions.
Did you see on Facebook, there's a guy, it may have been on YouTube too, but I saw it on Facebook. There was a guy that invented a mask, and he had this little remote that you could hit, and it would open up so he could take bites, and then when he would move the fork away, it would close. It was the weirdest thing. It looked so stupid.
I don't know how I feel about something that high tech. Close to
Yeah,
my mouth.
he had like like some sort of sensor in the fork and a remote, so he could control it. Like if he's just eating by hand, he could just control it with his thumb. But if he's eating with a fork, when the fork got close, it would just go and open up.
Now, did this guy have a beard?
No,
Yes.
see, that's the problem. Because can you imagine it just?
It would be bad.
It could be horrible. Like, I mean, major accident. You know, like kind of like.
Are you making this up?
No.
This sounds made up.
No, it's not. It's not made up at all. Look, you got your iPad. Look it up.
Yeah, I'm not going to invest that kind of time into something that absurd.
Oh,
Not going to do it.
It'd be awesome. So, I did watch episode. Well, apparently it was a rewatch. We found out last week. We looked at my Netflix account that I had watched episode 1 and 2 in like
Of The Office.
Of The Office. Yes, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 years ago. However long ago it's been. And so I rewatched those, and I still got to say, the thing that they're missing is Ron Swanson.
I mean, I combat that with Dwight Schrute. Dwight Schrute, and just watching the first 2 episodes, you haven't got the full aspect of who that man is.
Yeah, you have to come back at us when you watch like 2 seasons.
Okay.
Because first you watch the episode that introduced all the characters. Then you watch probably episode 2, which is probably one of the most controversial episodes of the whole series.
Yeah, that's the one about like diversity and stuff.
Diversity Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious that you're just like, oh yeah, that episode, that's super controversial.
Well, you couldn't do that. You couldn't do that today. That's a no-no.
Oh, it was. I'll show you my reaction to it as I'm watching it. So, like, I don't know if nobody was home,
right.
But if anybody was, they'd have been like, is there something wrong? in the other room? Is he being like randomly shocked?
Yes.
The best part, you'll find out the best part about The Office are the different opening monologues and things that they do. My favorite is when they switch Jim out for an Asian Jim and pretend like that it's Jim the whole time. Yeah. And Dwight's like, "What have you done with Jim?" He's like, "What are you talking about, Dwight?" They switched his pictures out and everything. Everyone just acts like this guy's Jim. It is hilarious.
Jim's not Asian. Well, Dwight, I'm very happy that you do not see color.
Yes, how enlightened of you.
That's awesome. I don't know. I still can't get over the Ron Swanson character, though. And
that's a good character.
I think it's because, I am him and he is me. Just he's way more serious, about everything. But everything he says, I think in my brain. So I wonder if that's why I like him and like that show better, because that character just speaks for me in a way.
And I'm Stanley. I mean, I'm old and grumpy. Not black, but but old and grumpy.
So yeah, I will continue because I did enjoy actually. So I must have changed slightly from the 4 or 5, 10 years ago that I watched episode 1 and 2.
It's not that. It's just that you're going back and rewatching because everybody hates it the first time they watch it. Everyone thinks it's stupid. But if you go back and give it another chance, it becomes hilarious.
Well, that being said, I'm I don't know. I was generally amused. Yeah.
What more can you ask for?
I mean, that's all we're trying to do for people here. So,
right. Yeah.
Generally amused.
Kelly watched episode 2 last week. She didn't watch episode 1. I'm going to call her out now. She'd never watched episode 1 to support her husband. But she watched episode 2 and she said, "It's actually not bad." Did you think it would be, Kelly? She's like, "It's actually amusing."
That's funny. Yeah. Amusing. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. That speaks to me. I receive that.
That's the truth. We're speaking to you, Steve.
Oh, man. So, what else went on this week? Anything cool while we were away?
Nothing cool. Spent most of the week. My grandfather passed away recently. Spent most of the week cleaning out his house and the stuff that man kept. Like every birthday card that anyone ever gave to him, we found in that house. We found pictures upon pictures upon pictures of things. Just the stuff that he kept.
He's a very sentimental person.
Yeah, it was quite the experience. I'm glad I got to do it because it was real neat going back through all his stuff and seeing what he kept and what was important to him.
Right.
Sometimes it was comical. My grandfather, if you don't know, he's, died 93-year-old, was a Baptist deacon, forever. And, he seems like he would be the type that'd be real uptight, but he would go with the flow with whatever he wanted to do at the church. He was not stuck in tradition or anything, which just makes me laugh because I found a pamphlet, which he never, subscribed to this belief, but it was 40 reasons why you don't dance, and it was hilarious.
Okay. Do you still have this pamphlet?
I kept it. I think it's downstairs because I was like, I can't throw this away. We got to do something with this.
Well, we need to talk about this on episode 4.
We will. I'll find it and we'll talk about it because it's hilarious. Because just the thing like you can't dance with a lady and keep a pure mind and all this. And like, what kind of dancing were you doing back then?
The jitterbug? Was that a thing back then?
It was a thing sometime. And my grandpa was quite old, so
yeah, it's possible.
Depending on how old this pamphlet was, could have been jitterbug time.
Yeah,
But I'll find that pamphlet and bring it up, and we can talk about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I always thought it was funny that people are so anti-dancing. Like, well, what about all the instances in the Bible where people danced?
Right.
Yeah. Like, well, that was different. That was worshipful dancing. Like, well, it was worshipful, but David was naked, so it wasn't
David
modest.
was. Yeah, I was going to say he was not modest.
No, he was like, let's.
Maybe that's the only way you dance.
Yeah, but that's Old Testament. We're not supposed to.
It's the only way I'm out in the church.
There it is.
Yeah, let's.
I'm just kidding. If you're watching this, Prairie Meadows, people do not dance naked in the church.
No, especially not since we're live streaming.
Yes. I did see this week about live streaming that this woman accidentally walked in front of her kindergartner's Zoom meeting with the rest of the kindergartners naked because she didn't realize that her kid had come into the bedroom and sat on the bed and she's walking out of the shower.
Oh.
Yes.
That is no good.
I'm sure the parents are very happy to have all of their kids as teachers and friends out of their homes.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
All I say is next year when school starts, teachers, make that list you send home with kids fat because it will get filled.
Right.
Whatever you ask, parents are going to buy it for you and send it to school because they realize that their kids are devils. And they will appreciate you more.
That's funny.
You say that out of practice.
Yes, I do. We talked about that in episode 1, me trying to teach Macy her sentences. And
yeah.
No.
It's funny you bring that up. I saw a story. This was early on in the lockdown, very early on. And it was when they had sent the news people home to do news from the house. And the news anchor lady was, in the bedroom, I think, on the computer doing news reports, and her husband gets out of the shower and comes walking.
That's a risk you're willing to take.
I don't understand why some of these people, even early on, didn't think maybe I should set up like an area to do this. Hang curtains or
with the wall behind me.
Yeah, something.
No free space.
Yeah, because I think that happened way too often. It may have died down slightly as people were like, "Oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't have a Zoom meeting." Well,
wait, you mean they can see
somebody's
me
in the shower? Yeah, But early on there was quite a few stories like that, which I have to admit I laughed a lot.
Or the lady that went to the bathroom and didn't realize how Zoom worked.
Yeah, she didn't realize everyone could see her. Me and Jacob, we had a couple Zoom meetings with our work, and nothing like that happened, but it's like people figured out how to use your mute button.
Yeah.
We don't need all this background noise.
Yeah. We had to do Zoom for the last month of school, and it was comical the first time. People farting and all sorts of stuff because they're like, "Oh, I'm at home. I'm comfortable. I can do whatever." And it was comical for a minute.
Or people figuring out how to put Zoom backgrounds behind them.
Yep.
And, some of the people not understanding Zoom backgrounds, like, "Oh, you're in San Francisco by the Golden Gate." No, that's a background.
Yeah. Yep. This laptop wouldn't let me do it. It's not fast enough or something.
That's old
but I
school,
tried.
huh?
Yeah, it's slightly old school. But, on the computer at the house, I was able to do the background. I went for the space one.
And you had someone like, "Oh, Steve, you're in space?"
Yeah. Some genius was like, how are you next to the moon?
I went for the backyard. Just random backyard.
Yeah. They need a better selection of backgrounds, but
You can download different backgrounds.
yeah. Right on. Well, we're coming down to the end of the segment. In the bag.
All right. We thank everyone that's tuning in. Like we said the past 2 episodes, this is our 3rd episode. 3 men with beards. is a ministry brought to you by Prairie Meadows Church. Prairie Meadows Church, located in Bonner Springs, Kansas, 66012. You can check us out at www.prairiemeadowschurch.com. You can check us out on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Prairie Meadows Church. Message us on Facebook. You can message us on our website. Get a hold of us. Send your questions. You can find us. This podcast you're watching right now is on YouTube. 3 Men with Beards.
3 Men with Beards.
3 Men with Beards. But yeah, so we would love to see you sometime at Prairie Meadows Church, or feel free to hop online on Sunday mornings, 10:30, to our Facebook. We stream every service live on Facebook.
That's true.
It's true.
Yeah. So you went through that really fast. We still got
How much time?
a little bit.
A little bit of time?
Yeah.
Why didn't I said the same thing I said last week. I just said it faster, I guess.
Yeah, you went through it really fast.
I'm sorry. Join us at www.prairiemeadowschurch.com or on Facebook. Facebook.com/Prairie Meadows Church.
Yeah. We'll be here this week.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. We have nothing planned, so we'll be there.
Good. Yeah.
No shopping.
Nope, not this time. We are all good. So, check us out on Facebook, YouTube, not YouTube.
You can check out this podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
We need to make a church YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We could share this podcast to it. We could put Church in the Dark on it. We could do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Did you guys have a chance to watch any of the last episode?
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah?
I did.
How'd you feel about the sound?
It was better than the first episode. Much better. I see why you made this originally for a hunting podcast, because every time I hear it in my head where you have shotguns and standing over dead deer and...
Do that again.
There's always, room for that type of a promo video. I'm just saying. I mean,
All right. We just have to be patient, because we have deer come right up to the church.
yeah.
So one Sunday morning, we're look out, there's going to be deer. I'm like, Jacob, Steve, now! Get the guns and get outside.
Yeah,
Bruce, grab the camera.
Yeah, we're going to have to keep them with us and have face paint. Every Sunday we have to wear camo. And we'll just run out there real quick and tackle it, and you can have it in a headlock, and the rest of us will be there
I just want to look tough.
yeah.
Don't want to be tough. Just want to look tough.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you look the part.
Right.
No.
So
It's the bark, not the bite.
yes. So did you like that?
No.
You reacted funny to it. That's my Sean Connery impression. Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I guess we have to bring up, because everybody on the planet's talking about George Floyd, and get a little 3 Men with Beards wisdom on that. So I know I am usually 99.9% of the time definitely supporting of the police.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
But in this instance, I've seen a video of this thing from 2 angles. There's nothing to support.
No. Yeah, you even saw on the news station here in Kansas City, there's protest on the plaza, and some of our Kansas City officers were holding up signs in police brutality.
Yeah.
There's no supporting the actions that cost this man his life.
No. No. And, the video that I've seen it from two different angles now. And I noticed that Mr. Floyd was largely compliant.
Yeah.
Like almost to the point of passive.
Yeah. Well, I actually read an article that the reason he was in Minneapolis, because he's originally from Texas, is he moved there to be part of a Christian ministry.
Right.
In Minneapolis.
Yeah. And I've seen it reported two ways. I don't know if it's been confirmed or if you guys know, but I've seen that he wrote a bad check or that he passed a counterfeit bill. And I'm not sure which was true.
Yeah.
Do you guys?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Because, that's a failing of the media to not report that part of it correctly. But regardless, if that was the offense, I don't think the punishment fit the crime at all.
No, definitely not. Neither one of those should have involved any sort of,
No, not at
brutality.
all. So I remember years ago when I worked for a city municipality in the area, and we would pick up trash on the side of the highway, and we found... Well, quite often we would find cash just for whatever reason. It was in somebody's purse and it flew out their window, or maybe it was from one of the fast food restaurants around. They're trying to give money or something and it blew away, or ATMs or who knows what. But we would find it all the time. And one time me and this other guy found a decent amount at the same time. We both saw it and we both went for it at the same time. And when we picked it up, we were like, well, we'll just split it. So we split the money. And I think it was the other guy that actually spent one of the $20 bills at a local gas station. And the next day, the Secret Service showed up. And one or two of the $20 bills in the wad that we found were fake. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't the police that came, it was the actual Secret Service showed up to talk to us. And so I got brought into it just because I had the other part and they went through mine. And I think they may have found one of them that was also fake, and they took it, and then they wanted to, search my house and all sorts of stuff. But I was like, no.
But they sat down and they talked to you guys.
Yeah.
Peacefully and things like that. Because I'm reading up on this right now, and it said that that Floyd allegedly attempted to use a $20 bill at a deli.
Okay.
That ended up being counterfeited.
Okay.
And that's how this whole situation started.
Right. So I find it odd that the police were even involved, because what we were told at the time, now this was, 15 years ago. So I guess policies could have changed, but what they told us at the time, because we were like, why didn't they call the cops right then? Or what do we need to do? Do we need to reimburse the business? And they're like, no, we reimburse the business. We just want to get this stuff off the street and find out if you guys were the ones printing it. So I guess the marching orders at that time were, get the information, get the people on camera, get their license plate number, blah, 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 and then report it. And then the cops would get a hold of the Secret Service, and they wouldn't, the local cops wouldn't get involved at all. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but at least that was what we were told at the time, because they wanted to be able to follow you and watch you and see if you're the one that's printing them. So I just found this whole story, based on my experience, kind of weird, that they were so brutal and quick to respond. Because like I said, what they told us was, they tell the stores, no, accept it. We'll reimburse you. Just get us the information of that person so that we can follow up. So I don't know if that was the full story that we were being told, because we're just a couple of stupid city workers at the time, or if that's changed. But I just found that to be crazy that they would, first of all, respond over a $20 bill.
That's what this
over that, and then to like have that kind of freak out, and treat him that way,
Yeah.
So, I know race is going to get brought into it, or already has been, and I have no frame of reference on any of that. I don't personally
all three of
you know
us,
what I mean?
All three of us have grown up in a different kind of backgrounds and things like that. Where my background is where I'm used to being the only white guy in a classroom.
Yeah.
And growing up with some of my best friends being African American and things like that, and hear them talk about situations where they felt uncomfortable and things like that. So, and seeing this is sickening.
Yeah.
And things like that. And it wasn't the fact that, not necessarily, the fact that the guy was kneeling on him was sickening. Is the guys that was standing next to him, the other police officers as well, just standing there and letting it happen.
Did you see the other angle, the other video angle?
I don't know if I saw that angle.
Well, the other angle was from. Okay, so the first video that came out, you could kind of see his head and the one officer with his knee on his neck. The other angle was from the other side, and there was another guy, another cop on his torso, and another guy on his feet, and then there was a fourth guy standing there watching. And so I was like, "Are they?" No, I know they had charged the first guy. Mm-hmm. That was in the original guy with the knee on the neck. They charged him with third-degree murder and manslaughter.
Right.
But I never heard about the other.
As of right now, I don't think anything else has been done with the other three. Right. I know they have been fired. Everybody associated with this incident has been let go.
Right.
Police force up there in Minneapolis. But to hear somebody have cries of "I can't breathe, please don't kill me," all this other stuff. This man was terrified for his life.
Oh, yeah.
And they just sat there.
Yeah.
They did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. The guys that are supposed to protect and serve. And so I can't support those particular officers in this instance. That was, and I've actually seen this morning that there was a couple of, at least one celebrity that came out, and I can't remember which one, but came out in support of the police in this instance over the clear victim. I mean, this is clearly he's a victim.
Yeah. And like you said, 99.9% of the time I'm siding with the police. We don't, understand the stress of their job.
No, not at all.
They don't know.
Well, I kind of do.
They don't know the situation that they're going into, and the intent of the people they're pulling over and all that. We don't understand that, but in this instance, with a clearly compliant person, there's just no need for that.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you guys know I used to bounty hunt?
Yes.
Yeah. So I kind of know what they go through. It's a little different, but
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And why is it used to?
Well, I don't want to talk about that on the air, but it wasn't anything nefarious or anything. Just, career change made it to where it was pretty impossible for me to do that anymore because it's like up all night. Yeah, I mean, it's a stressful thing when you're trying to find bad guys. But that situation, I saw nothing. I think maybe in one of the videos I saw, they were getting him out of the car, and he was a little bit like, "Get your hands off me! I'm gonna get up." Mm-hmm. Kind of thing.
Well, he stumbled a few times.
Stumbled a little bit, and that kind of thing. And it's like, I saw nothing that made me think that he was resisting.
Yeah.
When someone resists, in my personal experience, you got to whoop them. It ain't.
Well, yeah.
It's not easy to get them down on the ground.
Yeah.
I
mean, if they're resisting, there's a reason they're resisting.
Yeah. And nothing about what he was doing to me was resisting. But, we were dealing with people that had already been charged with things and were basically just running from the money end of it because they either couldn't afford to pay the bondsman, or they couldn't afford to pay the fine, or they just didn't want to go to jail once they did their court. So they were just running. So their mentality was, we're resisting from the beginning. This guy just, and I don't know the circumstances exactly because I wasn't there, but it sounds to me like it could have been something similar like what we did. He may have been given that $20 in change, and he was just trying to buy a sandwich, you know, and the next thing you know, he's dead. And I'm like, what is the deal? Like, why did this happen? And I think that's, you know, what everybody's kind of thinking about with that whole situation is just like, why and how could this happen in a free country? You know, that somebody's dead over a fake $20 bill in a sandwich. You know, that's horrendous to me. So I don't know what y'all think.
I agree. I agree. I think we're all in agreement with that.
This computer's freaking out on me.
You did insult it earlier about the Zoom backgrounds.
Yeah. Things. I may be overloading it. I don't know. Did our monitor shut off?
It's still on. I see the green light.
All right. Technical difficulties.
Yes.
Technical difficulties. How much time do we have left in this segment?
I don't know. I don't know. The computer's freaking out.
It's okay, computer.
Did we want to talk about the parent tips? And stuff.
Well, are we done talking about the situation?
I think
talk about the reaction to the situation?
We can talk about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. That's a good point.
There we go. Yeah.
That is definitely a good point.
Sorry, I was distracted by my computer.
How people are reacting towards the situation and violence and towards each other or towards businesses, burnings, and things like that. And definitely uncalled for.
Yeah, it's another one of those situations where I do not know what they're going through because I am white. You know, if you can't tell in the video,
no,
I'm white.
No,
yes, and so I can't pretend to understand how you should feel or how you should react. But I know rioting and burning and looting is not the answer.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up because I saw a meme. We all love memes. And it was the above picture was pictures of the protests in Minneapolis. And then the below one was an artist rendering of the Boston Tea Party. And kind of wanted to set the record straight on that one because I didn't agree.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people sharing that. And they are equating the two. And unfortunately, because my life is so hectic, I haven't had a chance to brush up on my Boston Tea Party thing. So I'm going completely from memory. Do you guys remember that whole thing?
Well, I mean, I wasn't there, but
right.
I remember.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. You're white and not that old.
Exactly. Now, if you give me a couple more chances to go through my grandfather's stuff,
right, you might find some stuff. Yeah.
No, but yeah, it was. I'm with you. It was a different situation because
wasn't that the Boston Tea Party was more they took the tea that the Crown sent. Wasn't it?
The Boston Tea Party.
I'm trying to remember exactly what it was.
Was England wanted to tax the colonies?
Yeah.
Without giving the colonies representation in the Parliament.
Right.
There's a whole taxation without representation.
Yeah.
And
so they destroyed the tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it I don't think they stole the tea or burnt down where the tea was stored.
They didn't burn down Boston.
No. They just threw the tea in the ocean.
Yeah. The meme I liked that I saw was the above picture was the peace walk of Martin Luther King Jr. In the bottom, like that's the way to protest. Peaceful protest.
Well, we'll be back. How you like that theme music?
That's good. That's nice.
Yeah. Came up with that little ditty on my iPad just for you.
I appreciate it. Church in the Dark. It's been fun times. We're going on episode 9 coming up this week. We're excited. Church in the Dark is on Tuesdays at 8:30 on Facebook Live, on my Facebook. A lot of our friends and family share that. If you go on Facebook, type in Jacob Thompson. Hopefully I'm one that pops up. It's a very common name, unfortunately. But I'm up there. Or you can, if you're friends with any of us, they share it and things like that. But look it up. It's good times. Last week we had fun, hide and seek action. And hopefully this week we get in some more trouble and find some more things going on in the church. Tuesdays, 8:30 at night. It's
more like Church in the Dusk.
In the dusk?
Church in the Dusk.
Yeah. It's not getting dark.
If you change the name to that, you got to wear cowboy hats. Just
There may or may not be vampires.
yeah.
From dusk.
But it's good times. Good times. We're finding new stuff every week.
I'm waiting for another invite, man. That was fun.
It's not this week, but next week my sister plans on coming,
Nice.
so that should be a good time.
Wait. Which one? You have like 18.
Get all 3 of them to come. All 18 sisters.
There you
We
go.
might need a 3-second delay for that church. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
But it should be a good time. Maybe Steve will show up on Tuesdays. It'll be a good time.
It's a distinct possibility.
Yeah, we'll get. Maybe I'll find him this time.
Ooh, that could be more fun. All right. Well, Church in the Dark, Tuesdays at 8:30.
8:30.
All right. Can we have peaceful protests, please?
Yes.
People? Please?
Yes. I defend your right to protest. It's an American right to protest.
Agreed.
It's not an American right to root and riot and burn cop cars.
No.
Like I was talking about before our last break, the meme I liked was the one that showed, the marches with Martin Luther King Jr. And how they were just in a line marching peacefully, protesting injustice.
Yep.
Versus the rioting and looting. I almost said looting. That's not correct. Looting.
I don't even know what that would mean. Looting?
That's when the French loot.
Oh, okay.
I did see a video though of a man. I forget where this was or anything like that, but they were protesting outside, rioting and looting all these places and stores and stuff like that, and he was guarding his store. And he was an older gentleman, probably in his 60s or something like that, and he was just pleading with them not to touch his store.
Was that the pawn shop guy?
Was it an older African-American
I think
guy?
so.
Yeah.
And I think he ended up having to take one out, if I remember right. We'll have to check on that for sure, but I believe that's the story.
But along those lines, there's also that picture going around of the police officer that got separated from the rest of his squad, and a line of African American men standing around him, protecting him from the riot, not letting anyone get to him.
See, we need more of that.
Yeah,
it was very. I like that one too. Yeah, it was good.
So, definitely a reason to protest.
Yeah.
But come on, guys, let's be peaceful about it. Let's be. The world needs more love rather than looting, smashing, and stealing and whatever.
And before we move on, the one that made me chuckle was the video of this plump, middle-aged lady, white lady, looting Target. And like, what do you feel injustice about?
Right.
This isn't your riot. Go home.
Yeah.
She was just happy about the prices slashing.
Yeah, that's all it was. Yeah. Free TVs.
But on the plus side, if you can have a plus side, most of these rioting looters were wearing their face mask. Safety first.
I did see that.
Oh man, that's hilarious. So, check that off. I'm
Going down the list. I
going
like
down
it.
the list. I don't know if anybody noticed watching, but we've got mugs.
These are fantastic. I said before when we started that I always wanted a mug with my face on it, and now I got one.
Yeah,
It's pretty sweet.
I never knew I wanted one, but now I have one. It's fantastically cool.
Yes.
So, yeah, our friend Bruce from the church decided he wanted to help out. He's going to be doing some video production for us. Hopefully make our Three Men with Beards visual episode way better than my rank amateurness. That's what we're hoping.
We're taking it up a level. We're getting a producer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he's the
video producer.
He's the video. We have so many producers.
That's what happens when we're
Money's going to start flowing in now.
Yeah. So we're hoping at some point in the future, if we get enough viewership and if the demand is there, to have a Three Men with Beards online store where we can, if you would like a mug with our faces.
Who wouldn't wear?
Who wouldn't?
This awesomeness on it.
I mean, come on. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Or maybe a T-shirt.
Yeah, maybe a T-shirt, maybe a hat.
I know
maybe-
what I'm getting Kelly for Christmas this year.
Have fun with that, Bruce.
Head to toe, Three Men with Beards.
Oh man, that is
However, if you have any individual printing need you need done,
yes.
check out our friend Bruce at BC Quality Image. He does good work, folks.
Yeah. Are you located in Bonner? Yeah, located in Bonner.
Located in Bonner Springs.
66012.
He has a Facebook page, BC Quality Image.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
So I'm excited. Also, I forgot about the mouse pad. Check this out, guys. Look at this one.
That
That is cool.
Right?
I like the look.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
I like that I'm at the center too.
We might need to change that. Oh, that's good stuff.
I'm digging it. I think it's pretty neat.
It is neat.
You know. So, yeah, we'll see how this episode turns out. See if he's still around.
Wait, who, Bruce?
Yeah.
After the technical
What's going to happen
difficulties,
to
and
him?
everything.
Oh, that was all on me. Well, really not me. It's the computer was mad at me for saying it was inferior earlier, so it decided to do a crazy, insane thing.
I think
there.
you're a fantastic computer.
I've been taking extra good care. I updated, did all the consolidation, disk utilities. Yeah.
Yeah, when they say update your disk utilities, I don't know what that means. I just say, okay.
Yeah. Did iOS updates, and then I ran disk utility on it, so it cleaned it up, consolidated all the files. So
Well,
I've been taking
I
extra,
doubt you did iOS updates on the MacBook.
Yeah.
Since it doesn't run iOS.
or OS, whatever it is.
Oh,
Apple.
man, this guy.
Apple stuff.
This guy.
I'm just kidding.
Don't ask me, man. I
just kidding.
just know how to record audio. So, I want to hear about the Church in the Dark.
No,
I want to hear.
we're running out of time.
We do have a little time, and I'll give you guys we did Church in the Dark this past Tuesday, and it was fantastic. One of our most popular episodes right now going on. We did Hide and Seek with AJ and his wife Kelly, which turned out to be a great episode. What they did is they came about 10 minutes before I showed up, and they hid in the church. And I started in. The door was locked when I got there, and I unlocked the door and came in, which puts a whole new atmosphere into this whole Church in the Dark thing. That there is now 2 people in this church hiding somewhere.
Oh man! So you guys didn't even meet up ahead of time?
No. So for one, I had no idea. See, they could have came in a lot earlier and did something to trick me and things like that, and put things in there. Which, going back on it, I'm glad they didn't. But I come in the front door and I was like, okay, I need to go look. And the most obvious spots would be downstairs somewhere or in this room across the hall from us right now and stuff like that. But you know what? I was like, I'm going to check every spot as I go by. And my first instinct, I was like, you know what? he's not up there or anybody's up there, but I'm going to check the sound booth to make sure nobody's up there. And as I'm walking up the stairs, and obviously AJ had heard me, and I don't know where he was in the sound booth, but you can hear him get up and move to try to hide. And at that point, I knew I had found somebody. And so we get up there, and I turn the corner, and he's hidden back there in the wall, like this. And it was no joke. Within probably, 30 seconds?
Yes.
And he said, it's like one of my favorite lines from a Disney movie. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your family, dishonor on your cow.
I've dishonored my church.
Oh, that is just sad. Oh,
but the funny thing is that it was a 30-minute time limit on myself to try to find everybody. We went almost a whole 30 minutes and did not find Kelly until the last 3 minutes of the episode.
Man.
So not only did AJ lose quickly, Kelly almost not got found.
Two opposite ends of the spectrum there.
Well, I have watched every episode of Church in the Dark. You know how many times you went to the sound booth first? 0.
I mean, it was obvious. It was a very good spot for him, to be honest with you, because he's right. I don't go up there. But here's the trick, though. When me and you did it, we went up there and explored after the show.
Yeah.
And you showed me the steeple and stuff like that. And me and AJ had talked about that because the prior episode I had tried to go up there and it did not work. That's for a different topic. Yes. I cannot climb ladders one-handedly.
But we have been talking with the congregation that used to own the building, that owned it since its inception of a church. And they've been telling us, oh, did you know about this spot? Like, what? You can do what? Where?
There are more places in this church that I have not explored yet, which is crazy.
Well, it's too many years because when we were kids,
yeah,
we would
They're like, if
run
you
around
go
in
into
here
the boys' bathroom downstairs by the school and crawl underneath the sink through the cabinet, it opens up like into what? Narnia?
Yeah. You never knew that?
No.
Which makes next week's episode could be interesting with you. Because you probably know the church more than I do because you went to school here. And so we might have to put a 45-minute time
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I will say I was watching the video of him looking for Kelly, and Jacob is very thorough in looking because we watched it back when we got home. Like, okay, next time, where can we look that he didn't look this time?
I looked everywhere.
There are a few places we thought of.
But there was one obvious spot I did not look until the last spot. And I thought I had, and I didn't.
Yeah, it's not even that Kelly had a good hiding spot. He just didn't look there. It was in that closet across from what we call the spider room.
Oh, yeah.
She was just in there chilling. He walked by. I'm like, okay.
Many times I walked by there.
You walk by the obvious spot, but let's jaunter up into the sound booth 30 seconds in. And I heard him. I'm like, there's nowhere I can go. Unless I thought about while he was coming up the stairs, jumping out of the window. But I was like, that ended badly.
That would make for good. Get the views up.
Oh, man. Yeah, actually, it's going to have to be 2 weeks before I do an episode with y'all because this Tuesday is my final day of school.
You got that paper test, huh?
Yep, got to do the paper tests. Got one performance profile to do, and then graduate.
Nice.
Done.
Nice.
So, yeah, Monday night and Tuesday. I think Monday night I'm getting together with a couple of other students to do the performance profile because none of us know how to do it. And and then Tuesday is the day. So unless you want to go for a Wednesday episode, it'll have to be a couple weeks down. But now that's over. So after Tuesday that's over. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. So that's fantastic news. So you guys want to, for the last about 10 minutes, talk about some Bible stuff?
We had a request, didn't we?
We did. My wife, Cassie, told me that she had multiple requests from some listeners and viewers that they kind of wanted us to kind of talk about some Bible and parenting. So which, I'm a parent, but I ain't saying I'm doing it right. So this is an educational time for me too.
No, I mean, it's one of those things. Yeah, I mean, they have all those books. This is how you should parent. Every kid's different. Every parenting is going to be different. I'm a parent also of 2 ornery girls. And I just look on like, I don't ever remember being half as bad as you two are. I know I had my moments, but I was a great kid.
I was an angel.
Yeah, we were all great kids.
Yeah. But there are biblical basis for what we should do as parents. And we're going to start off. I'm going to read a verse in Proverbs 22, verse 6. Proverbs has a lot to say about parenting. Man, I popped that pee. I felt it.
My ears felt it.
Yes, I am sorry for all those watching. It says in Proverbs 22:6, start children off in the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. We as parents, our most important job is to instill biblical principles into our children. Too many times today, the mindset is the church's job is to make kids biblical and make kids godly. But that's not how the Bible describes it at all. The church is supposed to support what the kids are already learning at home. And so I have 5 pillars. I did not think about that when I selected that, all those P's. 5 pillars that you need to instill in children. The one is building the pillar of faith. The most important thing you can do for your kid is to install a godly background to them. Faith is important to instill into your children. Reading God's word, loving God's word, showing your kids that they have a purpose in God's plan. It's important. I've had people come into the church, they since left for the church, and like, oh, so why are you visiting today? I'm like, well, I was at home with my children, and I said Jesus Christ as a curse word, and my kid said, who's that? And I realized that I was not doing my job. But that's the mindset. People don't instill faith into them. So beyond anything else, that's the most important thing. And also build character into your children. This is something that doesn't happen today. Teaching children character. You have too many instances of parents always siding with their child, even if their child is in the wrong. Mm. When I went to school here, when there's a school at our building, and now they did say that they had discipline where they could paddle if necessary. And my mom says, if you get paddled at home, I'm going to call your grandfather and he's going to paddle you. And then when you get home, I'm going to paddle you. And I'm not saying to beat your children or anything.
I am.
Like that. No. Well, that's down here in my next pillar of discipline.
All right.
But what I am saying is your child is a sin creature, just like the rest of us, with a sin nature, and they will try to get away with stuff. Your kid's not always right.
Yeah.
It's important to realize that your kid can be a snot. I know that. My 2 daughters, I love them to death. They're both snots. Macy is defiant. She will pitch fits. If she doesn't get her way, she's cute while she does it. Why? Because she has a sin nature. Mm-hmm. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to instill character upon her. Teach her how to act. Not just in church, but how to interact in society. Mm-hmm. Teach your children to be beneficial members of society, how to react to people. Build those characters. The third pillar, discipline. Discipline your children. There's not enough parents disciplining their kids. There's just not. I'm not saying that you beat them, however you want to discipline them. I'll leave that to you. The Bible is clear. You spare the rod, you will spoil the child. I believe there is a place for biblical spanking. There's a difference between spanking and child abuse.
Oh, yeah.
Big difference. We can get into that another time. But discipline your children. And you say, well, they might not like me. They probably won't. Your kid's not going to like you all the time. That's not why you're there.
Right.
It's not your job.
It's not your job.
No.
You're not there to be your kid's friend. You're there to be your kid's parent.
Yeah. And isn't that like a simple enough thing for a kid to understand? You know, you did something wrong and you have to endure a consequence.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you do it that way and then after that pain, you comfort and you show them, hey, I still love you. I don't hate you because you did something wrong. I'm correcting behavior. I think when it's done in that way, it's a very good thing.
That we're going to probably run out of time. But my thing is that parents shouldn't don't open threat a discipline and not go through with it.
Oh, yeah. That's a huge problem.
Don't say, hey, you're grounded, or hey, I'm going to do this, or take this away, or anything like that, and not do it.
Yeah.
Because then there are open threats that never get fulfilled, and that kid or whatever feels like they can get away with anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's like speeding and not getting a speeding ticket.
Yep.
When you get pulled over.
Yeah. You know, discipline is an important part in biblical parenting. I'll go through this quickly since we are short on time. But I remember, I forget what his reality show was. Gene Simmons had a reality show. He's like, why are you talking about Gene Simmons and biblical parenting? Because I remember the only episode I ever watched, he was having trouble with his daughter. I don't know if she's slamming the door and he kept telling her not to. So he took the door off her room. And she's like, what are you doing? That's my door. He's like, no, that's my door. I paid for it. That's my door. When you respect, and he's instilling character into his daughter by discipline. And the fourth pillar, we'll go through this quick, is the pillar of relationship. Show your kids how to have proper relationships, because the relationship you have with your child, the relationship you have with your spouse or your child's parent, because I know not all situations are together, that's going to show them how the relationship are built, and that's what they're going to model their relationship with in the future. Show them how to have proper relationships with people. If you are in a split custody, be civil about it. You know, don't put your animosity towards that other person onto your child. I could talk a lot more about that, but I want to get to that fifth pillar, building that pillar of prayer into your child. Instill faith, instill character, instill discipline, instill relationship, show them how to live, but pray for them also. Because ultimately they are an individual. They will make their own choices. They will do their own things. They're going to make choices that you don't agree with, that you do not like, and all you can do, and it's important, I'm not saying all you can do, but pray for your child. Show them the importance of prayer. We can go more in depth on this in a later episode if you want to, but those are 5 things that we can do right now to start being biblical parents.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. So,
it's good episode, guys.
Yeah. Good. I think maybe we'll just, next episode we'll try and just kind of pick up where we left off on that, because that's a huge topic.
It is.
So,
and Jake was like, well, with the last 10 minutes, do you want to talk about this? Like, it's going to take more than 10 minutes.
Well, yeah, I don't know. We always end up talking about so much fun stuff that sometimes we forget.
Yeah. We talked about a lot of good stuff today.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank y'all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. And we will see you next time.